At what point does this break out from a revolution to a civil war?
We're already in a civil war. Not civil war, we're at war. If our security services wouldn't have stopped the jihad attacks, then every single month for the last 10 years, there'd have been football stadiums, aeroplanes, nightclubs. People would realise we're in a war zone already. Yeah, but we have a great security services. We have 40,000 British Muslims on the terror watch list. 40,000 of them.
So every single day, people of Great Britain know that they have 40,000 people
among us.
Among you guys.
And out of that 40,000,
labeled as terrorists.
Out of that 40,000.
But you're also labeled a terrorist.
Well, no, I'm detained under terrorism legislation.
The terrorism act.
Yeah.
Classifying you.
But these are 40,000 Muslims on a terror watch list to be watched. Now, out of that 40,000, 3,000 of them are monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, that costs £9 billion a year.
And are they just walking around?
Yeah, they're out, yeah. So basically, our government know that they're a danger and they're a threat, and rather than do anything about it, which we should be interning them, because we're in a war, they should be interned into prisoner of war camps, because they should be, because they're the enemy of this country, yeah? But they're just walking around waiting to commit attack. They're just following them, waiting for them to do something. And all the last attacks, like the attack this week, he wasn't in the top. He wasn't even in the 40,000. Yeah, it's just we're waiting for these men to attack us. Half of those men are on dual nationality passports, so they shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't even be here. But if you look at 40,000, when we have a Muslim population,
it's an
army.
It's an army.
We've only got 70,000 armed forces. Now, 40,000, if you double the Muslim population, it doubled every 10 years in Manchester. In Manchester, the city where the last attack was, when the Ariana Grande concert attack happened, 26 people blown up. Now, Salman Abedi, whose father come here, he was part of a terrorist organisation. We give him refugee status, same as this latest one. He come here. I looked at the statistics for Manchester. The Muslim community went from 25,000 to 50,000 over 10 years. The next 10 years, it went from 50,000 to 100,000. Now, if we carry this on, the next 10 years, it's going to go to 200,000, then 400,000. There's only 500,000 people in Manchester. So you're a generation away from losing the whole city. America really needs to wake the fuck up, yeah? Because we've been given warnings for 15 years of how quickly this can happen and how dominant Islam comes. And it's happening there. It's now happening in your cities. I see what they're doing in Texas. I see what they're doing in Dearborn. You see it all.
Well, the biggest city in America, New York City.
Muslim mayor.
They're about to elect a Muslim mayor.
Yeah, and not just a Muslim mayor, but a radical sympathiser to jihad Muslim mayor. It's insane. But America needs to wake up. But we've watched all this. So when you look in Manchester, it's doubling every 10 years. Now, what would happen if my hometown is called Luton Town. When I was born in 1982, we had one mosque. We now have 45. Yeah, I've watched it. We're a minority. English are a minority. Yeah, it's a Pakistani city. So what does that bring? And how does it change? Now, in 2013, I looked at the figures for the community. I looked at a demographical change predicted by 2030, a 17-year period. The Pakistani and Bangladeshi community were going to increase by 70 to 77%. Yeah, our community, white and black, by 1.3 to 1.4. So this is why the government bend, which is why the Democrats, all of them will bend. Yeah, because if you're the Labour Party, the Democrat Party equivalent in Luton, what's the future of Luton? Well, it's Bangladeshi and Pakistani. It's Labour. It's Muslim. Which is why we just recognise the state of Palestine. Because Labour have to. Because their future and if they want power, it's coming from Muslims. It's not coming from us. So what I've seen in my upbringing is that we, white, working class English people, we're irrelevant now. We don't matter. They do a deal with the local council and mosques, and the local council and mosques, 45 mosques, will guarantee them 50,000 votes. Done. That's it. We're done. Town's done.
Yeah, because at that point they had so many people.
That's it.
In the United States, they try to do that with open borders underneath the Biden-Harris administration.
That's why they let 8 million in. But they won't try to do it. The demographic and the birth rate of the Muslim community will become so strong in towns and cities. Because they have five...
So our immigration is two different things from America to the United Kingdom.
Yeah, totally.
You guys have people coming from the Middle East.
Yeah, but so have you for the last 8 years. For the last four to 8 years, America, you've always had Hispanic immigration, Mexican immigration, which a lot of people moaned about. And I remember when they moaned about it thinking, oh, you've got no idea. No, wait till you have Pakistani Afghani, Somali, which is what you've now had. So for the last 4 years, it's not really been Hispanic, or it has been Hispanic, but they've brought them all in from Syria, from Afghanistan, all the Middle East, all the Islamic countries have been flooding through the United States borders. You're going to see now. You're going to see the problems, really are. But then you have a government that's probably going to help deal with it and not hide from it. Unfortunately, our government appease it.
Yeah, in the United States, in big cities like Minneapolis, like where we let in so many Somalian refugees, at this point now they've
took over everything. Took over everything.
It's not even really the same place.
It's never going to be the same place. That's now an Islamic stronghold.
Like, will the United Kingdom ever become what it used to be? Like,
no.
Will they ever be able to deport people that come over the English Channel illegally? Like,
well, they need to. You need remigration.
But like, is it too far to the point where it's been going on for so many years now? Let's have babies that the shape of the UK is just cooked.
It doesn't look good, but if we have to accept there's always hope. If we look at the Islamic community, it still says 6 or 7%. I think it's more, but it's still only 6 or 7%. We are still the vast majority.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how dangerous is what they've done to society here, as far as keeping the Western civilization, the Western culture?
No, we're at a crossroads. This is the most pivotal moment in this country's history, 1,000 years of history. We're closer now to losing Great Britain than I think we've ever been. We're going to lose our culture, our identity, and our future. They're changing the demographics of this nation like that. We're being replaced. British Christians are being replaced. They're flooding the country. You can look at illegal immigration, 50,000 coming in on boats, but look at legal immigration. They brought 1 million in 1 year. 1 million in 1 year.
So the people shouldn't really, the big concern shouldn't be the illegal. It should be the legal.
It's legal, it's all of it. They're literally flooding the nation. They're not flooding it with doctors, scientists. They're flooding it with the arse end of Islamic Sharia-driven shitholes. Somalia, Eritrea, Afghanistan. Afghanistan men, for conviction rates in the UK, are 22 times more likely to rape. Why are we letting any of them in? Why? You know, you said about hotels. We have had 25 children sexually abused by migrants in hotels, 9 women raped, conviction-wise. We've had a terrorist attack from a migrant in a hotel. These are men we're paying for them to be in these hotels. And then the community, I don't know if you saw what happened in Epping. Local community took the Home Office to court for the safety of the community because a 14-year-old girl was sexually abused. There was lots of attacks in Epping. Now, Epping is an area where most people have fled East London to get away from the Muslim demographic that's took over their town. They've gone to an English area. Now they're bringing the migrants into the hotels in the English area. The migrants are sexually assaulting the children on the way to school. They took the Home Office to court. They won. The Home Office appealed it, and the judge overruled and said the rights of the migrants come before the rights of the local community.
How do they put the migrants over the citizens?
That's the country, that's the government. Because the government, Keir Starmer's not working for the interests of the British public. He's working for a globalist agenda. The globalist agenda is to flood our nations. The United Nations are flooding us. It's not a mistake. It's not a mistake that every single Western country, every single Western Christian country is being flooded. These NGO groups that bring them in on boats are government funded by the European Union. Germany funds organisations and boats to literally, when they come off the coast of Libya, they're picked up, they're brought to the next stop. They're fed, they're clothed, they're fed, they're brought to the next stop. It's a human trafficking cycle into our countries, which is going to destabilise the host nation, destabilise our community, break down our community spirit. They're flooding every European nation.